together with Earle Sports Bets. Yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah. It's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. We'll just be yours truly today for NFL and MLB. We got a full Sunday card. We only have one more Sunday after one more Sunday like this after today, where we have a full slate of baseball and a full slate of NFL. And it's next week on the last day of the regular season. It's crazy to think that regular season baseball ends in a week. Got 7 games remaining on a lot of team schedules. Got a couple, I believe, clinching spots today for certain things to keep an eye out for. So we will go over that. We will touch on the 12:35 game first with Boston, Minnesota. Then we will get into the NFL. Then we will go back to baseball there. So we're going to start with the early game in baseball. Just so we're not going halfway through football and then stopping, having to go back and do that one game and then all that. But we'll recap yesterday. One went right, one went wrong in the world of sports betting. Let's take a look at all of that, which it was a busy day yesterday. 31 plays for me. Let's get into it. In college football, I went 10-8-1, up 1.05 units. So profit of the day in college football across 19 plays. Army -6, they win 37-14. They might be pretty decent, or Rice is just that bad. But that was a nice little winner there. Mississippi State +6 was a loser. That was a battle of probably the 2 SEC bums, and I'm shocked how bad Mississippi State looked there. NC State +21 looked horrible. They lose 59-35. Don't let that score fool you, though. They got a lot of garbage points. They got 21 garbage points in the fourth quarter to make that a closer game than it actually was. Kansas money line was a ridiculously stupid loser. I believe it was 28-17 with a little over 3 minutes to go in the fourth. And for West Virginia scores not once but twice. There. Ball State +7. They lose by 3. They were up late, and then the Chippewas went down and scored to take a 37-34 lead. The Chippewas get the win, but Ball State gets the money. Southern Miss gets absolutely blown out by Jacksonville State. Finally, Jacksonville State showed something yesterday, so I lost the +6 there. Penn State -49. I love James Franklin. And his not caringness of running up the score, because he scored that last touchdown to make it 56-0 with about a minute to go in the fourth. So I love his aggressiveness sometimes when you're on Penn State in a blowout type of thing there. I laid the 49. They win by 56. Buffalo +14 against NIU off of the Notre Dame win. They win outright as 14-point dogs, those Buffalo Bulls, in overtime 23-20. Head of the victors, we got the Michigan Wolverines +5. They win outright 27-24 against USC as they came to the big house and left with a loss. SMU +105 was a winner there. They blow out TCU 66-42. I got 10 with UTEP that pushed, +17 with USF, a loser. Florida State finally wins a football game. -2.5 was a winner there. Wyoming +7 was a loser. Tulsa +3 was a winner. Western Kentucky +3 was a winner as well. And then closed out the night with Oklahoma +7, loser. New Mexico +13.5. They lose by 17. And then BYU with a dominating victory over Kansas State. This BYU team might be legit. I've backed them a couple of times this year. They're a team I'm looking to bet on rather than bet against going forward there. CFL sucked. Went 0-4. Had Ottawa in the over, Edmonton in the over, and the favorites in the unders hit yesterday. So I went 0-4 there, down 4.75 units. But baseball was awesome. We started off the day with Washington getting the job done, a 5-1 win over the Chicago Cubs. I believe they had a no-hitter going into the 6th inning. So nice dominating performance there from the Washington Nationals. The New York Mets, minus 124, a winner over the Philadelphia Phillies after the Phillies clinched their playoff spot. The Mets go ahead and beat them there. They play Sunday Night Baseball tonight. That's a fun matchup with Tyler McGill and Zach Wheeler. Atlanta -2, minus 125. It looked a little hairy there for a while, and then they went off for 4 runs in the 7th inning to take a 6-2 lead to cover the -2. So that was a winner there. And we continue on with the baseball, where I doubled up on the Mariners, and that was absolutely beautiful. They hit the team total over in the 6th. They win 8-4. So plus 101 winner, team total over 3.5 winner. My only loser in baseball, Cleveland, St. Louis under 8. That game was heading into the bottom of the 7th, a 2-1 baseball game. The Cardinals score 4 in the bottom of the 7th. The Guardians score 4 in the top of the 8th. And all of a sudden it's a 6-5 baseball game, and I lose the under there. But to finish off the night really well, Rockies money line plus 220 was a winner. The over pushed thanks to a Charlie Blackmon 2-run home run in the top of the ninth to make it 6-3. So overall, a very a nice day yesterday. I was up about 2.5 units, and I will look to continue the winning streak today. So we'll head over to the chat, and then we will get into today's card. I'm high on Zach Benson on the Sabres. Yeah, Zach Benson has a lot of upside. He was a top 10 pick for a reason. How does TCU lose that game? SMU scored more points. That was easy. Day 4 of hitting a home run. There you go. Ronald Acuna Jr. Love it. 9-1 on the home run. Let's see. I'm on the Mets today. I don't even care about Wheeler versus McGill. Phillies have a busy schedule ahead, and I don't expect them to be wasting pitching. It's Zach Wheeler, but yeah, I totally get that. Took Rockies last night. I will be on the Rockies again today. I will be on the White Sox as well. The Dodgers are minus 340, and I think the Padres are minus 330 today. So we have 2 minus 300 fades. So that's going to be fun. Took the Chargers. I like the Chargers today. I do as well. We will get into the Chargers game. That'll be the first NFL game we get into. But first, we are going to talk Minnesota Twins and Boston Red Sox. This game starts at 12:35. So we're going to touch on this game first. Then we're going to go to football. And then we'll come back to baseball. I just want to make sure that we touch on this game and don't risk going too long in baseball, which we are in football, which we should. And I'm starting at 10 a.m. for a reason. Well, let's get into it. This line opened up with Boston as minus 125 favorites. I'm assuming that was before the postponement because the lines reopened up at 10:26, minus 122 Minnesota. It's now minus 139. Line opened up at a 7.5 minus 115. It's now a 7.5 at plus 105. I was already interested in a spot in this game. I think I'm going to end up betting it too. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one, where we have, let's get all markets. There we go. Let me switch over to load up on the football there for that. But for this early game, why is this not loading? Refresh. Please. All right. We have no market, basically. Cool. Let's take a look where we have 49% of tickets and 81% of the cash is on the Red Sox in this game. 80% of tickets, 82% of the cash on the over in this game. The line's dropping in this spot here. We have Nick Pivetta and Pablo Lopez. Lopez a 1.30 ERA, 1.10 whip, 9.09 strikeouts per nine, which is 25%. 1.3 walks per nine, a 333 BABIP, a 2.13 FIP, and a 3.10 SIERA. On the flip side, Nick Pivetta, 3.18 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, 10.72 strikeouts per nine, which is 29%, 1.99 walks per nine, a 3.04 BABIP, a 3.74 FIP, and a 3.13 SIERA. Bullpen edge, Minnesota. Hitting edge, Minnesota, 83 WRC plus, which is 25th, compared to 64, which is 30th. I'm still not a fan of this Red Sox bullpen, but it's been better as of late. So it's not like it's been the worst bullpen in baseball as of late. It has been improving. So I guess maybe I can rely on it for a full game under. Both these teams are pretty fresh with them not having a game yesterday, which really I think benefits the Twins more than anybody, because on Friday they went through basically what looks like their entire bullpen. The Twins, because Blewett through 12, Tonkin through 14, Duran through 20, Thebar through 10, Jax through 8, Varland through 13, Sands through 16. I think this is a spot where you take the under first game, and then maybe you can look towards an over for the second game because of potentially bullpens not being the freshest. Also, one thing you got to keep in mind is if this game becomes a blowout, don't expect a lot of the good bullpen pieces, which ultimately should lead me towards just the first 5 under in this game at -3.5, -110. So I guess that's a lean for me in this game is the first 5 under. And I kind of want to move on that. So I want to take a look here. It's an early start. First 5 under 3.5, -110. I'll get my day. And it just moved to a 115. So that actually makes me like it even more. So first 5 under 3.5, and we will be able to potentially sweat that later. So let's go ahead and lock that in. First 5 under 3.5 at -115. Boston Red Sox, Minnesota Twins for this one here. Let's see. Chargers +2.5. Lions over 51.5. Twins money line. Twins -1.5. Can't take Dodgers tonight. I like Ohtani an Ohtani home run. Props on that game are not open yet. Fair. Pivetta, another home run pitchers, give it up 28. Yeah. I find it weird that the money is coming in on the Red Sox. Lopez is the guy. I'm on the Twins big time. There you go. I love how there's no player props for baseball yet. Yeah. I like Falcons money line tonight. KC on the road, and they're not going 17-0 like the public suggests. Very true. I don't know how I'm moving on that game yet. I'm looking at Correa and Buxton Larnach home runs. There you go. Lewis home run. He's starting to heat up. We'll move into the NFL though, and we will start with. There we go. We will start with the Chargers and the Steelers. This game is interesting here. I gave out a play with it earlier in the week. I have not actually bet it yet, and I'm going to go ahead and bet it here. And let's just go with it right now. I'm going to be on the Chargers at +110 on this game. Let's get into it here. We have the LA Chargers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are 2-point favorites in this game. Total 35. This line opened up. Let me take a look real quick. Trying to find what day it was. Monday. It's the 16th. I like to look where they opened up on the 16th. Line opened up at a -2.5 for Pittsburgh. It got all the way down to a 1 and went right back up to a 2.5. It touched 3s for a minute, and it came right back down after it touched the 3 because money came in on the Chargers. And then since then, since the 3 it went down to a 2.5 to a 2. So we have a move towards the Chargers since they announced Herbert out. The line opened up at a 35.5. It got up to a 36. It's now a 35. I think the under is not a bad look either in this game because I see a lot of running the football. I see, and the markets are kind of pointing me in that direction as well. 77% of tickets, 58% of cash is on the over with the line moving towards the under. These are two teams that I came into the season projecting them to be heavy under teams. It's a 34.5, which is a really low total, but I'm going to add that as well. I'm going to add the under 34.5 in this game as well. It's I get it. It's a scary low total, but at the end of the day, I think this total is low for a reason. And when this game finishes 12-10 Chargers, we'll understand why. And for me, we have the Chargers coming in 2-0 on the season. Both these teams are 2-0. But when we look at who the teams have played, are we really impressed with who either of these two teams are played? Actually, now looking at it, because the Chargers, they played Vegas and then they played Carolina. Pittsburgh played Atlanta and Denver. Now, granted, the defense has been phenomenal for those for the Pittsburgh Steelers, only giving up 10 runs, 10 points to the Falcons and 6 to the Steelers, or to the Bengals. No, to the Broncos. There we go. Words. And on the flip side, the Chargers defense has been awesome too. They win 22-10, so they give up 10 points to the Raiders, and they give up only 3 to Carolina. Granted, Carolina is not good. I'm well aware that Carolina is not good. That being said, I mean, +6 is kind of appealing, but that's beyond the point. There we go. Okay, and did my CapperTek really get rid of the Cowboy play I posted? That's weird. And the Eagle play. I gotta make sure that this is working, so I don't put up plays twice. So I want to make sure that they're up where I just can't see them on my computer, which would be annoying. Okay. Yeah, no, I still have my Eagles and the Cowboys play posted, it looks like here. But yeah, Chargers. Oh, I'm able to get under 35 on CapperTek. That works with me. And then +110 for the Chargers as well. This is one of my contest plays as well. One of my 5 contest plays. So Chargers for me, and the under 34.5. J.K. Dobbins touchdown under. Yep. 9-3 Chargers. I mean, that would be a beautiful game for me. Yeah. Steelers smash. I'd be surprised if a touchdown even scored with these two defensive lines. I mean, okay, then here's the next question. What is the odds on first touchdown score or no touchdown score in this game? Maybe that's worth a look there as well. Judge only has 54 home runs. Ohtani has 52 a month ago. It looked like Judge was running away with the home run champ. Yeah. And then he hit a wall. The Chargers have that one tackle, Alt, or whatever his name is. He's been phenomenal. Joe Alt. He was their first round pick. And he's shut down Crosby. And I mean, I would say he shut down somebody on Carolina, but Carolina doesn't have really anybody to shut down. So, but yeah, he's looked awesome so far. Supness had to cash out $150 from a 985 10-legger after hitting 9 because of USC. Put the 100 profit on another 10-legger and hit that there you go. We'll continue on though. This is a tricky game. We have the Bears taking on the Colts in this one here. The Colts are 1-point favorites, total of 44 in this game. This was not one of the games that shouted out to me. Now, for futures purposes, I hope the Colts win, but let's take a look at the line history in this spot. Where it opened up with the Colts around -1, and it's still -1. So we have had no line movement there on the side. Line opened up at a 42.5. It's up to a 44. So a 1.5 move towards the over in this game, and really no line movement on the side. We have this game. Where is the Colts? There we go. 39% of the tickets and 50% of the cash is on the Bears. And then we have 46% of tickets and 59% of cash on the under in this game, but yet this line's moving towards the over in this spot. We have the Bears coming in off of a 19-13 loss on Sunday Night Football in Houston. They beat the Titans week 1, 24-17. The Colts are coming in off of back-to-back losses. They lost to the Texans as well, 29-27. They followed that up with a 16-10 loss against the Green Bay Packers. We were on the Green Bay Packers in that game because I projected value with the Packers without Jordan Love, which is the reason I'll probably be back on the Packers again today. So there is that. These two teams, I mean, this was 16 years ago. This was a Super Bowl matchup, and I have no interest in this game whatsoever. I will sit back. I'll root for the Colts because I got them over their win total. I got them to win the division, but neither of those are looking particularly great. I would like to see them win this game. But that being said, no play here for me. There are better games on the card to make a move on, and this is not one of them. Colts first touchdown plus 210. Fair. Colts smash. I hope so. I hope so. This is a game I'm going to get involved with. Let's get into it here. Houston Texans, Minnesota Vikings in this game. The Texans 2-point favorites, total of 46.5 in this game. I want to take a look at what the money line is for this, which I believe it's reasonable. Down to a -120 now. I am going to move on that. -120 for the Houston Texans. And let's get into the line history, which this line opened up with the Houston Texans as -1 favorites. It got up to a 2.5, and it's just been bouncing between 1, 1.5, 2, and 2.5 all week long. Take a look. Let's just take a look at the money line real quick for this game, where it opened up. Where's Houston? There we go. Where it opened up with Houston at around a -120, and now it's a 127. So we do have a move towards these Houston Texans in this game. As for the total in this one, we have this line opened up at a 46.5. It's still 46.5. Now, the first 2 weeks, the markets liked Minnesota, which ended up keeping me off of fading the Vikings, which I would like to fade the Vikings more and more. We have 60% of tickets, 52% of cash is on the Texans. Line's moving towards them now. 61% of tickets and 62% of the cash is on the over in this one as well. And for me, I'm going to stand. I didn't fade them the first 2 weeks. I leaned towards them last week. I did not take the Giants in that first week. But I want to challenge the Vikings to continue to play well. Because in plain and simple terms, I do not trust Sam Darnold running an offense. And I do not think this Vikings team is as good as they've looked the first 2 weeks. And I am on the Houston Texans. It is a contest pick for me. It's about time this Viking luck box stops and reality hits them. They should be over a field goal dog in this game. And the fact that I can get the Texans at a money line price here, I'm going to go ahead and take Houston. It's Houston -120 for me, Texans here. And this is a contest pick as well. So I'm on the Houston Texans in this spot. They're coming in on a back-to-back wins. They beat the Colts week 1. They beat the Bears week 2. And then on the flip side, the Vikings, they beat the Giants week 1. And they beat a banged-up 49ers team week 2. So you beat one of the worst teams in football, and then you beat a Niners team that's beat up and injured. So, and I think these injuries for Minnesota can catch up as well. I'm on the Texans here in this spot. Give me the Vikings at home +110. Nope. Vikings smash. Justin Jefferson touchdown. Same here. Texans. Yep. Diggs +160 touchdown on my card. Do not trust Houston quarterback nor the defense. I think I was wrong about CJ Stroud in this offense or in this Texans team because I was expecting a regression year for them, and that's not what we're getting. So we'll continue on, though. Keep it moving. We have the New York Giants and the Cleveland Browns. We have the Browns as 6.5-point favorites, total of 38.5 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this one, where it opened up at a 6.5. It's still a 6.5. The line really hasn't moved all week. Line opened up at a 38.5, and it's still a 38.5. The line's really not moved. So not really getting too much help from the line movements. We have 59% tickets, 53% cash is on the Browns. The line's not moved. We have 39% tickets and 62% of cash is on the under. This line's really not moved. We have the New York Giants 0-2. They lose their kicker, Graham Gano, on the first, I believe, on the opening kickoff, and then proceed to lose the game because of the positions they had themselves in because they had no kicker. They missed a PAT. They had to go for it on fourth downs. They had to go for 2-point conversions because they didn't have a kicker, and they lost that game because of it. The Cleveland Browns bounced back after a week 1 debacle, that 33-17 loss against the Dallas Cowboys, with a 18-13 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. And for me, the market's not telling me anything in this game. I think this line's about right. I think it should be a 6-7 range. Probably the Browns winning cover, but do I trust them laying 6.5 points? Not particularly. So it's a stay off spot for me. I think this line's about correct, and we haven't really gotten too much help in this game either. Let's see. There's a lot of crossover between two teams, ex-players on both sides. There you go. Giants plus the points. Browns minus 6.5. Are you going over MLB today? Yes, we are going over MLB today. That's why we started earlier. Malik Neighbors over 66.5 receiving yards. This line is way too low. Yeah, Daniel Jones has found a receiver he likes. We'll keep on going here. The Philadelphia Eagles and the New Orleans Saints. This was the first bet I made on the card this week. We have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, minus 2.5 for the Saints, total 49.5 in this game. We have, let's take a look at the line history in this spot. Where is it? There we go. This line opened up at a 1. It's all the way up to a 2.5. Look ahead line, though, was minus 3 Eagles, and now it's almost minus 3 Saints. This was the massive overreaction of the week for me. Line opened up 49.5, got up to a 50 for a minute, came back down to a 49.5, and that's where we sit here. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game. I'm kind of curious what the cash flow is. 54% of tickets, 54% of cash is on the Eagles. Spread 70 and 65 is on the money line for the Saints. I moved on the Eagles. I got him at plus 125. Let's see. Can I get a 3? If I can get a 3 here, I'm going to take the Eagles and double up on the Eagles. This is my favorite play of the week. I think the wrong team's favored in this game. And I get it. What has everybody seen so far? The Saints offense can't be stopped. The Eagles just lost to the Falcons on primetime TV. Their defense didn't look good. They lose 22-21 to the Atlanta Falcons on a last-minute drive there to win it for Kirk and the Falcons after winning in Brazil 34-29 over the Green Bay Packers. The New Orleans Saints look absolutely unstoppable. 47-10 win over the Carolina Panthers, 44-19 over the Dallas Cowboys. If you treat sports betting like stocks, this is a buy low on the Eagles. This is a sell high on the Saints. The wrong team is favored in this game. And can I get, of course, as I'm trying to bet this game, Bovada locks it. Let's see. Please don't tell me it's actually that number. Minus 135 for a plus 3. It's really 35 cents for a plus 3. That's ridiculous. Let me dive a little bit. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that. But I wanted to double up on the Eagles here and take the plus 3 as well. But I don't think there is a plus 3 available at not a ridiculous number. Let's take a look here. Let's see if it works on my phone better. Because it it basically locked up everything when I click on it, but which is annoying. But yeah. So we got no. They continue to lock. They have it locked up. Saints +3 -130 on the alternate, or Eagles +3 -130. I'll probably add that after the show, but we'll move on here. Let's see. Eagles money line versus my Saints. Yes, I like the Saints in the over. Eagles money line over. Saints bringing that belt out today. I don't think so. I'll be shocked if they do. I'll be shocked if they do. Jalen Hurts touchdown. Lean under. Somebody looking at the under there. Saquon catches the ball. They're 2-0. Yeah, if Saquon catches the ball, he goes down. They win the game. What is this? Pick 'em? It's a pick 'em, right? But seeing that he dropped the ball, they lose the game. And now the Saints deserve to be -2.5, -3? No. Besides Barkley and Smith, who else they got on secondary? I mean, they got Jalen Hurts, who can run the ball as well. For me, this is a buy low spot on the Eagles. Does Saquon go off in this game? I think so. I'll look in that direction. Barkley dropped that pass on purpose last game. Everyone was on the Eagles in that game. Stop that. No. Nobody drops the ball on purpose. Nobody does that. It's just people salty about losing bets that claim the NFL is rigged. If it's rigged, then the NFL should be the easiest sport to bet in the world. Just bet the rig side. Pretty simple there. We'll move on. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Denver Broncos. We have the Buccaneers -6 favorites, total 41. Line opened up at a 6.5, got up to a 7, and it's come all the way past to the 6 now. So some line movement here on Denver, making them kind of appealing in this spot. We have this. Let's see. We have 78% of the tickets, 83% of the cash is on the Buccaneers. Yet those lines move towards the Broncos, making them extremely appealing. 78% of the tickets, 68% of the cash on the over in this game as well. Let's take a look at what these two teams have done. The Buccaneers look awesome. They win. They are coming in off a win against the Detroit Lions, who knocked them out of the playoffs last year. 20-16 win as 7.5-point dogs. Before that, they blow out the Washington Commanders 37-20. On the flip side, we have the Denver Broncos, who have been competitive in games. They just haven't been able to get the job done. They lose 26-20 against the Seattle Seahawks. A backdoor cover in that game, which I can see potentially happening in this one. And then they lose 13-6 to Pittsburgh, which Pittsburgh's defense looked absolutely phenomenal in that game. I am very interested in taking the points with the Denver Broncos in this game. It's +6 over on Bovada here. I want to take a look at what 6.5 would be, because let's take a look. 6.5 would be -130. Why? Why is 6.5 -130 when 6 is -110? That makes no sense. But I am going to move on the Denver Broncos here in this game. I was not anticipating on doing it. Oh, no, here we go. 6. I can get +6.5 -120. I'm going to move on that here in this spot. Denver Broncos +6.5 -120. I think the line movement's kind of telling in this spot, with the line moving towards the Denver Broncos with the money coming in on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we have the Buccaneers coming in off of their probably a game they had circled. A game they had circled against the Detroit Lions last week, who knocked them out of the playoffs. So after a revenge game, and now they get to play the lowly. Now they get to play the lowly Broncos. Give me the Broncos +6.5. I didn't think I was going to move on this game, but here we are. Broncos 6.5 for me. 4-4-6 is here. Early start, yes. because I'm leaving to go to Raleigh. I'm trying to get out of here by noon. So yes, I started early because we have the full NFL slate and we have the full MLB slate as well. So yes, AJ Brown back too. There, that's what I like to hear. 10 a.m. Yes, yeah, but how do you know which side is rigged? Well, everybody claims that their bet's a loser because the game was rigged. Then bet the side that's rigged. WNBA playoffs. That's not even a thought for me today. I apologize. Because I'm focusing on baseball and what do you call it? And football. Bucks money line, Bucks -6. I'm on the opposite side, guys. AJ Brown is not back. Am I missing something? Okay. I don't know if he's back or not. I don't know. Nick, I think it's a trap. Be careful. You're in Baker's hands now. I'm leaning Broncos +6.5. I did parlay the Browns and Tampa. Fair. Never take a rookie quarterback on the road. I'm getting 6.5 points. I'm fine with that. So I have no problem with that whatsoever. Nick, those dollars. There you go. AJ Brown out. Mike Evans touchdown. I could see that. Broncos wide receiver Devon Vile caught 8 out of 8 targets in week 1. Several design screens for him. Then sat out week 2 with an injury. He's listed at 2.5 receptions, +142, and over 18.5 receiving yards. There you go. If you notice, Bo Nix kind of likes him. I mean, go for it. Why not? I don't dive into player props like that, but I ain't gonna argue with it. Let's get into it here. We have the Malik Willis revenge game in this one here. We have the Tennessee Titans -3, total 37 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this spot. This is a shocking line movement because this line opened up at a 2.5, and it's actually bounced between 2.5 and 3 all week long. And it's sitting now at 3, but the 3 is juiced towards Green Bay, so I think we can see 2.5s again. As for the total in this game, we have this line opening up at a 36.5, 37 range. It's still a 37. It got up to a 38.5 at one point. So kind of a lot of line movement there on the total in this game. 77% of the tickets and 69% of the cash on the over. This one, 44% of the tickets and 86% of the cash on the Packers money line in this game. We have 70% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the spread in this one for them as well. I like this spot for the Green Bay Packers, and I said this heading into the matchup with the Colts, is that the Green Bay Packers are bet on without Jordan Love. And then once Jordan Love comes back, then I'll fade them. Because right now I think they're undervalued with Malik Willis at quarterback, and I think they're overvalued with Jordan Love at quarterback. So this was another spot where I think that this line I think the wrong team is favored probably. But I get why the line is the way it is. I'm not saying that, and then it's like, oh, this should be a trap line because no. The Titans are at home. It's the backup quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. But with that being said, I don't think the Packers should be 3-point dogs in this game. I took +3 here, -105 with Green Bay. Pretty plain and simple for me. I don't think they should be this big of a dog. So that is what we're doing here. Green Bay +3 for me, -105 in the spot. Yes, Rob, out. Packers for me. There you go. Take Godwin instead. Surtain is going to shadow the wide receiver 1, Evans. Again, there you go. Packers +3. There you go. Say hi there. Just seen it. Packers money line. Titans defense. Going to make Willis look like a star on purpose. There you go. If anyone is going to know what Malik Willis is going to do, it's Tennessee. That's fair. Willis had his game last week. Now the regression comes. Titans know Willis and will shut him down. Then bet the under. I don't think that Levis is going to do anything against this Packer defense. Bet the under then. And he had his game last week. They won it was like 13-10. If that's him having his game, then you had extremely low expectations for him. Yes, Packers. Saying hello to Fernando. The under is a good, the under is worth a look in this game. I'm not going to pull the trigger on it, but the under is a good look in this game. Let's move on. It's Red Rifle time. Carolina Panthers and Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders favorites in this game, obviously. 5.5-point favorites in this game. Let's take a look at the opening line. Opened up at 7. They announced Dalton in. It goes down to a 6. And since then, it went from a 6 to a 5.5. So we have a decent move towards these Carolina Panthers. Line opened up at a 39.5. It's now a 40 for the for the total here towards the over. And this one, I am so glad as somebody with Panthers futures, I have the over 5.5 wins, which is probably dead, but it's less dead now with Andy Dalton at quarterback because you look at Bryce Young and what he did. The Panthers' offensive line only allowed pressures on 4 of the 29 dropbacks in last game. And that immediately tells me that it's just Bryce Young can't read a defense, and he was inaccurate. And this is something where Andy Dalton is not a superstar quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback. He's not a good quarterback, but he's better than he's got to be better than Bryce Young. You have the Las Vegas Raiders coming in off of a win against the Baltimore Ravens, 26-23. They came back. They were down, I believe, 10 points late in that game. At one point they were down 23-13 in that game. They came back in the fourth quarter with a field goal touchdown and then a game-winning field goal to beat the Ravens last week as 8.5-point dogs. Now they have to head home and play a lowly Panthers team that made a change at quarterback. And I can only look Carolina in this game. That would be the only way I'd look in this one. 25% of the tickets, 30% of the cash is on the Panthers. The line's moving towards them. The public and everybody all over the Raiders. 75% tickets, 73% cash on the over. I lean over the total as well. I believe we could see Dalton have a decent game because Dalton played one game last year and the Panthers put up 27 points in that game. So I'm interested in Carolina in this spot. Maybe this is a game I just quietly bet off to the side and don't tell anybody I'm betting Carolina. But I can only look Carolina in this game. And maybe an over. This could potentially just be like the last chance for Carolina because they're playing a bad Raiders team. The Raiders are off of a massive win. And Andy Dalton, and they made the quarterback change, which I hope could spark them a little bit. It's Panthers or nothing. I don't think I'm moving on this game, though. I'll be rooting for the Panthers for my futures. But this is Panthers or nothing for me, but I'm not betting it. So we'll see. I have no expectations for Willis. Brock Bowers. Touchdown. There you go. Okay, Nick, I give you permission to take the Panthers now that Young is benched. Red Rifle gives them a shot. That's what I've been saying. It's just, Love the hat. Yeah. Plus Money Honey in the chat. What's good, Allie? It's been a while. I think they're lucky. Their magic number is a 3 for that division. I got plus 350 with the Astros on May 10th to win the division. So yeah. Also, I'm rocking your Texans as well. I like both Houston teams. All right. I don't know if I'm betting the Houston Astros today, but I'm on both. I like the Astros. I like Houston today. I'm taking the Raiders minus 5.5. Plus Money Honey is alive. That's a name from the past, right? Right. Hubbard touchdown. Yeah. Never bet Panthers. I'll be returning for the NHL. There you go. If the Panthers coaching staff knew Young couldn't read defenses, why start him? Because they drafted him number 1 overall and gave him all and traded up for him. So yeah. Adam Thielen plus 280. I think Raiders think it's a layup. The line tells all. Yeah. Carolina. Ooh, I like this look right here. Carolina team total over. I think they could put up I think they could put up points at the very least. We saw Andy Dalton be able to put up points last year. The one game he played, I think they put up 27 points. I actually really like that look because I kind of like the over as well. And this will take what the defense does out of the equation. I actually really like that look. I want to see what Bovada's offering for that team total here because I do believe the Panthers can put up points in this game at the very least. Bovada being sneaky, it's 7.5 or 17.5 plus 105. I think they could put up 20 points in this game. I do. I'll probably add the Panthers. I'm probably going to add the Panthers here. And it's plus 5 now. So, yeah, I'm going to do it. But I'm going to do the team total over. That's the way I'm going to approach this. I'm going to take the team total over 17.5. It takes what the defense does out of it because and this is really a fate of the Raiders a little bit too. Yeah, so I'm going to do that team total over 17.5 plus 105. I actually really like that. So there we go. Cool. Panthers is the play. Yes. Plus money, honey. Yes. Just here for the free picks. Don't mind me. H-Town. Yeah. Let's go Astros. All of a sudden, all right. Yeah. When's the return of that? Waiting for your son to go so I can start betting on him, Allie. There you go. Not taking a side in this game. They got Devontae Adams in the Raiders and Brock Bowers. Cool. I'm on the team total over 17.5 plus 105 with those Panthers. That's the way I approach that game. So there's that. We'll keep on moving. We have the Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. We have the Seahawks as minus 4.5 point favorites in this game, total 41.5. Obviously, the big line movement from the look ahead to now, because it's going to be Skylar Thompson under center for the Fish. This line opened up at a 6.5 with the injury to Tua, and it's actually come down to a 4.5. Line opened up 41.5, and it's now still 41.5. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game, 55% of the tickets are on the Seahawks, 51% of the cash is on the Dolphins. 69% of tickets, nice, and 59% of the cash is on the over in this one here, with the line not really moving there. And this is a game that I wanted to move on the Dolphins here. And I don't think I'm going to. But I would only look Dolphins in this game. And we have Skylar Thompson most likely under center for the Dolphins, which does not breed confidence. However, they last played on Thursday Night Football. They've had 10 days to prepare for this game. And, they're coming in off an embarrassing loss, and Tua gets hurt. On the flip side, Seattle's looked decent. They have won both games, 26-20 against the Broncos. 23-20 against the Patriots. They covered neither of those games. They pushed as 3.5 favorites, or if you got 3.5, you lost with them. And they lost as 6.5 point favorites, or if you got a 6, you pushed with them. So the Seahawks, depending on the numbers you've gotten for them, are either 0-2 or 0-2 or 1-1 ATS. They're not a team that's covering numbers. Now, granted, neither is Miami. They didn't cover as 3.5 point favorites in a 20-17 win over the Jaguars. They didn't cover, and they lost outright as 2.5 point favorites against the Bills. And for this spot for me, you guys can have fun with this game. I'm staying off at this point. I think if you liked the Dolphins, you've missed your line, and I think this is one that I can walk away from and not hate myself for not betting. But this was one where I was looking at the Dolphins or nothing is the way I would look at it. But it's going to end up being nothing in this game for me. Nothing in this spot. Let's see. Remember that they are the Las Vegas Raiders. A lot of hometown action on them. Yes, definitely. There you go. He is an NBA guy, 6 feet tall now. Wow. Jeez, he's. I think he's taller than me then. That's and he must be what? He's 6 feet tall, so he's a foot and a half taller than you. That's crazy. Dolphins plus 4.5, laying it with the Seahawks. Seahawks smash. Skyler under passing yards. Fish pass. Yeah, this is a pass for me. I want to see what Skylar Thompson looks like given full week of reps and things along those lines. I think he may be able to surprise some people. All right, let's move on. We have the Detroit Lenny Lions, 3-point favorites on the road against Arizona, total 51.5 in this game. Line feels kind of light in this spot. Let's get into it. Line opened up at a 3. Opened up on Monday morning at 3. Dipped down to a 2.5, but it was a pseudo 2.5 because it was minus 125. And now it's back up to a 3 for Detroit. Line opened up at a 52. It's down to a 51.5 in this one as well. We have the Arizona Cardinals coming in off of that massive win. 58% of the tickets are on the Cardinals. 50% of the cash is on them. And then 55% of the tickets and 81% of the cash on the over in this spot as well. When I looked at this game, I want to lay it with the Lions here. Lions are coming in off of a loss, which I kind of want to see real quick. I feel like they were really strong off of a loss last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think the Lions were undefeated last year after a loss, if I remember right. They were also a really good team last year. So let's see. Following losses last year, they lose 37-31 against the Seahawks week 2. They bounce back with a 20-6 win. They lose 38-6. They bounce back with a 26-14 win. They lose to the Packers. They bounce back with a win against the Saints. They lose to the Bears. They bounce back with a dominating win over the Broncos. They lose to the Cowboys. They bounce back with a win over the Vikings. I think this is Lions minus 3. I'm very high on this Lions team this year. Very high on them. They are my Super Bowl pick. They're coming in off of a 20-16 loss against Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was a revenge game for those Buccaneers who they bounced in the previous year's playoffs. So that was probably a game the Buccaneers had circled. And I could see this as a bounce back spot for the Lions. And on the flip side, the more and more I look at this game, the more and more I like it. Because we have the Arizona Cardinals coming in off of a dominating 41-10 win against division rival LA Rams. Now they're feeling good about themselves. They're coming into this game, and I think the Lions take care of business in this spot, and they cover the 3. And I think I would like to move on the Detroit Lions in this game. They're not a public favorite. If anything, Arizona is getting a little bit of love. I think this is a nice little sell high spot on the Cardinals. Because when you look at what they did last week, with the dominating win, I like to fade teams off of potentially their best performance of the year. So I'm going to grab the Detroit Lions. It's even money for the minus 3. I'm going to lay the 3 with them here on this spot. I think this is a good buy low spot on the or a sell high spot on the Arizona Cardinals in this game. So I'm going to lay the 3 at even money with the Detroit Lions here in this spot. Yeah, I go Dolphins or nothing on this. Yeah, not going to bet it, but I would take the points. Yes. Oh yeah, I thought the Earle boys. No. Damn, I remember when he was the starter, when he was shorter than you plus money, honey. Now he's taller than me. Yeah, over 51.5. I'm only 5'2". Fair enough. Arizona smash. I don't see it. Maybe the Dolphins. Nice and teaser. Yeah. Lions are bums. I don't think so at all. I think they could be one of the best teams in football. Over here, gotta go. There you go. No, you're not. You're not. The obvious pick will be the over. I kind of think the under. I think we're gonna see more unders in Lions games than people think. Like I don't understand. I mean, I get it. The Lions have a pretty fun offense, but their defense is awesome. Like, this is a really strong Lions defense that people think. Excuse me when I go cry in the closet. It's okay. Murray going to run circles around the defense. Good luck. I think this Lions defense is underrated. I think this is an underrated Lions defense. I do. I laid the 3 at even money. Montgomery, anytime touchdown. Best performance of the year. We're 2 games in. A dominating win over a divisional opponent? Yes. That'll probably, ready, Drewski? We'll go back at the end of the season, and we will say that was their most dominating performance of the game, of the year. The Cardinals. Okay, no. Okay, my bad. Jameson Williams, plus 150. Cardinals are tough because I love a key number at home, but I think you're right. And again, maybe it's a good spot for a little tease. Maybe. And you know me, I don't like laying points, especially on the road. But when the situation is right, I will lay points on the road. It's just I don't feel good about it. But -3 even money, I think is fine. I was only joking. Yeah, you're all good. You're a little troll anyway, so it's fine. We'll keep on moving here. We have only 3 more games in the NFL. Then we'll go into baseball here because we still cap baseball on NFL Sundays. Let's get into the next game here. Dallas Cowboys and Baltimore Ravens. -1 for the Ravens. Total of 48 in this game. I have moved on this game. This is a contest play for me. I'm on the Cowboys in this game. I got them at even money. Let's get into it. This line opened up with the Ravens as 1.5-point favorites. It's down to a 1. Line opened up at a 48.5. It's now a 48. It opened up 47.5, 48 in some spots. So really no line movement on this total. I'm not really interested in this total anyway. We have 40% of the tickets and 52% of the cash is on the Cowboys on the spread. We have 62 and 81 on the money line for the Ravens here in this one. 63% of the tickets, 75% of the cash is on the over in this one here. The line not really moving too much. Let's just take a look at the money line real quick because it is close enough spread where I don't care about the spread. This line opened up around -102. It's now 101. It's now even money. So I guess it's a small move on the money line towards these Baltimore Ravens, but it's kind of a split between the money line and the spread. And at 1.5, I wouldn't argue with teasing the Cowboys up if it's 1.5. That's one thing. I'm going to challenge the Baltimore Ravens to win a football game right now because I don't think they're as good as people think they are. And I faded them week 1. I took the under week 2, which should have won. They lose 26-23 to the Las Vegas Raiders. On the flip side, we have the Cowboys off an embarrassing loss, 44-19 to the Saints, where they didn't get a single stop on defense. And it's crazy to think Derek Carr is the highest rated quarterback so far this season. I wouldn't have got that on my NFL bingo card if you gave me 100 guesses. This is a Cowboys bounce back spot for me. And bounce back spots are for good teams, and both these teams are good teams. The Ravens are. This is very concerning. Granted, they played the Chiefs week 1 in Arrowhead, but you need to bounce back against the Raiders the next game, especially you have a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter at home. And who's to say the Ravens don't get up in this game and gives you a really good chance to live bet the Cowboys as well. So I'm a known Cowboy hater. I mean, I'm a Giants fan. I can't stand the Cowboys. This is Cowboys all the way for me. And I think it says something that I'm on both the Cowboys and the Eagles today in these spots. I'm going to challenge the Ravens to win a football game. I think the wrong team is favored in this spot. This should be Cowboys -2, -2.5 in this game. I'm not a believer in the Ravens like a lot of people are. So at least at the moment, they can if they want to prove to me otherwise, go for it. But I'm on the Cowboys here in the spot. I got even money on. Ravens -1, like the over. Lions let the Rams score 20 on home field the Rams arguably the worst team in the NFL. I do not think they're the worst team in the NFL. That's for sure. No tease. Tease the Cardinals up. Yes. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. No, and I obviously, and you know me, if I ever tease anything, you never tease through zero ever. I know Lenny loves to do that for whatever reason. I'm not going to buy dead points though. I'm not going to spend money on dead points. So I would only tease up. Yes, I would not be teasing the Lions in that game. Lamar touchdown. Henry over 67.5 yards. Dallas run defense awful. Fair. Ravens smash. Lamar Jackson 2+ touchdowns. I will mostly forgive you, the guy who said that. Henry, if I come alive. Thanks, plus money, honey. There you go. If you take the Ravens, don't lay the point. Just take the money line. Yes. If you like either side, just take the money line. The game's not going to end in a 1-point game. I don't think so. Although this is a highly situational situation. Yes. Besides Lamb, Dallas offense is trash. I wouldn't say it's trash. They just had a bad game last week. I'll take the home dog and hedge it with plus money if they get ahead. Henry might come alive. But do not bet on do. Show me something. Yeah, you can poop in one hand and hope in one hand, poop in the other, and see which one fills up first. Yeah, Nick loves. Yeah, you're all good. Yeah. Fun times. We'll continue on. We have 2 games remaining. We'll go to these LA Rams, which are very appealing in this game. 6.5-point favorites are the Niners. Total 44.5. We have the Rams coming in off of an embarrassing 41-10 loss in week 1 or last week to the Arizona Cardinals on the road. This is the Rams' first home game. It'll mostly be San Fran crowd. And they lose week 1 in overtime to the Lions. Lions minus 3.5 in that game, never in doubt, or 4.5 in that game, never in doubt. And there for that, the Niners are coming in off of a bad loss as well. They lose as 4-point favorites to the Minnesota Vikings after crushing the Jets. Christian McCaffrey, I think, continues to remain out, and they're dealing with some injuries as well. The San Francisco 49ers. George Kittle is out as well. Nick Bosa is questionable. Deebo Samuel is out. Yeah, this is a banged up Niners team. On the flip side, no Cooper Kupp. I believe Puka Nacua is out as well. Like, this is 2 banged up teams. So maybe it's an under. Maybe if that's the case, it's an under. I want to bet the Rams to bounce back in this spot. Let's take a look at the cash flow. Let's take a look, at the line history in this one here. I want to take a look and see if this will tell us. This line opened up at a 7. It's down to a 6.5. This is very telling. Very, very telling that the Rams are alive in this football game. Line opened up 44. It's down to a 45. It's now 44.5. It opened up on Monday morning at 45. So that's there. Taking a look at the cash flow, 72% of the tickets, 61% of the cash is on the Niners, with the line moving towards the Rams. This is a Rams spot for me. This is a Rams spot all day. 38% of the tickets, 52% of cash on the under. Line moving towards it. I kind of lean towards the under as well. I see these offenses struggling a little bit with the injuries on the offense. No Kittle, with no Samuel, with no Nacua, no Kupp, no McCaffrey. Like, this feels like an under. Lines dropped accordingly. I'm going to move on the under as well, actually. Under 44.5. I'm going to go Rams and under. And for me, I just want to see them prove that they can move the ball with all these pieces missing. And these are kind of like challenge bets. Plus, I love me a divisional home dog. I love me divisional unders. If I can get involved with divisional unders, you know me. The line moving towards the under makes me like the under. The market's pointing towards the Rams and the under in this game. I'm going to go ahead and move on both here in this spot. I like the 4 o'clock slate way better than a 1 o'clock slate. But yeah, I'm going to be on the Rams. I got the Rams at plus 6.5, minus 115, and the full game under 44.5, minus 105 in this one here. There you go. Rams money line. There you go. You got stop. We're not doing that. We're not talking about another company in here. Spoiler alert: the poop pan is going to fill up first. Yes, it is. Niners smash Jennings over receiving yards. Probably Jennings is out. Yeah. Everyone is out of this game. Both teams. Yeah. Niners should trade CMC and Debo. They stay here. He actually was healthy, McCaffrey, last year with the Niners. That's why they were so good. I think this is like everyone has nothing to lose because nobody's a starter, so everyone balls out. If that's the case, then I hope at least the Rams put up some points for me to cover that. If the backup or if all these guys out and they step up in the overhits, I'll tip my cap and I'll move on because I'm going to challenge them though. And the market is projecting under as well because it's moved from 45 down to 44.5 with the sharp money on the under. Let's move on here. Sunday Night Football, Kansas City Chiefs and the Atlanta Falcons. The Chiefs are down to a 3 in this game. It opened up at a 4.5, down to a 3.5, down to a 3. And this line opened up at a 47.5. It's down to a 46.5. Looking at the cash flow, 41% of the tickets, 58% of the cash is on the Falcons, and the lines move towards the Falcons. 56% of the tickets and 56% of the cash on the over. The lines moving towards the under in this game here. Not a game I am overly thrilled to get involved with. I will put that out there now that this is just not a spot that I am excited about. And I think this is probably not a game I'm betting. Because if you like the Falcons, congratulations, you've missed your line. I would be more interested in the Falcons if the hook was still out there, which it's not. The hook is not out there anymore. It is 3, and it's a flat 3 at minus 110 on both sides. At this number, I can only look Chiefs. They're coming in off of squeaking out a win against the Cincinnati Bengals. We cashed with the Bengals last week, taking the points there. They win 26-25 over them on a last-second field goal on a game they honestly should have lost. And that was probably the worst game I've seen Patrick Mahomes play with the Chiefs in his career. He had 150 passing yards. He looked terrible. Turnovers helped the Chiefs, and running the ball helped the Chiefs. They ran the ball an awful lot in that game. Falcons are coming off of a primetime win and a comeback in Philly to an outright. Now, can they use that momentum and go ahead and head home, play well at home? Maybe. I ain't gonna go against Patrick Mahomes at less than a field goal in this game. I'm not. I can only look Chiefs in this game, and maybe that's a square public play, which is why I'm staying off of it. But you have a Chiefs team that barely beat the Bengals last week, and you have the Atlanta Falcons team off of a primetime win. I definitely don't want the Falcons in this spot. The question is, do I take the Chiefs? And we'll see how today's going. If I'm having a good day and I want a little action on a Sunday Night Football game, I'll lay the points with the Chiefs. I don't think I'm going to get involved with it, though. So it's going to end up being a pass for me, and we'll head into baseball here in just a second. Let's see. I like the Rams here. There you go. No dirt here to share. He's a really cool guy. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why he would ask for dirt. Chiefs money line, no way the refs let him lose. No home field, plus no Taylor Swift. Falcons win. Bijan over rushing yards. Good luck. At this point, I would not take the Falcons at plus 3. I wouldn't. I think the lines move too much. But we'll move on. We'll head into baseball now, where we get the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates. We have Paul Skeens taking on Hunter Green. Hunter Green making his return from an injury where he has not pitched in the last 30 days. Paul Skeens on the flip side, to refresh my spreadsheet, And it would be nice if the live odds page can load to baseball. There we go. Starting to load there. So in that first game, we moved on the first 5 under 3.5 for Boston, Minnesota. For those who missed the beginning of the show, we're on that first 5 under. But we have Hunter Green taking on Paul Skeens. There we go. Everything is loaded. Line opened up -110 for the Pirates. Got up to a 123 at one point. Back down to a 108. Line opened up at an 8 -110. Got down to a 7.5. Back up to an 8. And it's moved 2 cents towards the over in this game as well. So really not much help from the market in this game. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. Not many tickets in these games, so take these numbers maybe with a grain of salt. 45% of the tickets, 89% of the cash is on the Reds. And then we have 80% of the tickets, 69% of the cash is on the over in this game. Paul Skeens and Hunter Green, my bad. Hunter Green making his return off of an injury. We haven't seen him in a while, so I have no numbers for him in the last 30 days. Paul Skeens, maybe his last start of the year. Actually, no, he'll have one more. One more because they still have 7 games left. So he'll probably pitch next Saturday against the Yankees in Yankee. Yeah, they're definitely going to pitch him next week against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. Absolutely, he's going to pitch. So he has one more start remaining. Last 30 days, he's been awesome. He's been awesome all year long. And if you guys are doing season-long fantasy baseball next year and you're not drafting Paul Skeens as your first pitcher, now I'm not saying first overall or first round, but if he's not the first pitcher off the board, you're doing something wrong. 1.29 ERA, 1.04 whip, 11.89 strikeouts per 9, which is 34%. 2.57 walks per 9, a 3.28 BABIP, a 1.38 FIP, and a 2.48 CR. Bullpen edge, Reds. Hitting edge, going towards the Reds as well. 106 WRC plus, which is 11th, compared to 86, which is 24th. I have no interest in this game. I don't know what to expect from Hunter Green in his first start back off the injury. So this is I kind of want to see how Green finishes the year, because this Cincinnati Reds team is really appealing for futures next year for me with all the pitchers back. And they're kind of reminding me of what the Padres did last year, where they lost all these late games. They lost all these one-run games and things like that. And then the Padres positively regressed this year. I think the same for the Reds next year. I want to see how Hunter Green looks in this game. The Pirates are going for the sweep in this. The Reds are going for the sweep in this series. I guess I lean Reds, but it would be no play for me. No play here for me. Let's see. Chiefs ain't that good to lay -3 on the road. They absolutely are. I'm not high on the Falcons, though. So, pit money line Skeens on the mound. Fair. Members NFL card get later? Yes. We'll post the NFL card later. Yes. Refs team total under 1.5. Reds, yeah. Betting against Patrick Mahomes is a negative return more times than not. Yes. I learned that the hard way during the playoffs last year when I bet the Dolphins, and then I bet the Bills, and then I bet the Ravens, and then I bet the Niners. I faded Patrick Mahomes to back-to-back Super Bowls there. I backed him every single game in the run the previous year, but I bet against him last year. Let's get into this next matchup here. We have the Tigers and the Orioles. We have 2 potential clinching situations today. With a win over Detroit, the Baltimore Orioles are in the postseason. They'll be up 6 games with 6 games to go. So, and I believe they would have the tiebreaker. I think they would have the tiebreaker over the Detroit Tigers. So there's that. Line opened up with Baltimore -132. It's down to a 114. Line opened up at an 8.5 -103. It's down to 8.5 -101. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game here, where we have 74% of tickets and 76% of the cash is on the over in this one. And we have 86% of the tickets, 81% of the cash is on the Orioles, with the line moving towards the Tigers. We have Holton and Suarez. I did not have Tyler Holton as a projected starter on my spreadsheet. Let me put him in there. it'll be a bullpen game for the Tigers, which I like this Tigers bullpen. So that does not scare me whatsoever. That is a bullpen game. Forgot to type in the DET so I can load up the bullpen numbers as well. There we go. Holton's been good. 1.53 ERA, 0.74 WHIP, 7.13 strikeouts per nine, which is 22%. 1.02 walks per nine, a 191 BABIP, a 3.4 FIP, and as I accidentally click on a different tab. So there we go. And a 3.39 Sierra. On the flip side, we have Albert Suarez, 5.13 ERA, 1.44 WHIP, 8.64 strikeouts per nine, which is 18%. Where is this? There we go. 2.73 walks per nine, a 304 BABIP, a 5.52 FIP, and a 4.74 Sierra. Bullpen edge, Detroit. Hitting edge, Detroit. 115 WRC plus, which is 9th, compared to 101, which is 14th. This will be a bullpen game for the Detroit Tigers. Holton has gone a max of 2 innings in his last 10 appearances. So we're not going to get much from the 9th round pick in 2018 by Arizona. On the flip side, Albert Suarez has kind of struggled as of late, and he's somebody who I have circled as a regression candidate. I want to take a look at the available pitchers for the Tigers in the bullpen. With this being a bullpen game, this probably tells me Holton starts, and then we see a decent amount of Kenta Maeda. But he did throw 23 pitches on Friday, Maeda. So maybe is this potentially Reese? No, it wouldn't be Reese Olson. Reese Olson pitched yesterday. Could this potentially be a piggyback Holton starting, and then they go Bo Brisket? Bo Brisket threw 23 yesterday. No. I don't know how they're approaching this game. Hanafi will be available. Miller will be available. Vest only threw 10. Foley only threw 16. Brisky only threw 23. Gunther threw 24. Maeda threw 23 on Friday. Holton threw 18 on Friday. I think this is a pretty fresh bullpen for the Detroit Tigers, and I trust this Tigers bullpen. They've been one of the best bullpens in baseball since the trade deadline, and this team sold and might play themselves into a playoff spot still. This is a must-win game for the. Now, granted, I mean, if you're the Orioles, you want to win this game as well, but you're only a half game behind Detroit, and Minnesota is a doubleheader today. I think this is a Tigers money line spot, and I'm getting them at plus 101. I'm going to move on the Tigers in this game. Look for them to take this game and to put some more pressure on Minnesota to play well, because they've kind of lit a fire underneath Minnesota's ass to kind of have to push them a little bit. And I still think the Detroit Tigers can make the playoffs, which is crazy to say considering where this team was just a few weeks ago. So I'm going to be on the Detroit Tigers full game money line, plus 101 in this game for me. Plus 101 Detroit Tigers money line. Tigers money line, over 8.5. Colt Keith home run. Vierling home run. Fade the injury. Which injury? Fade what injury? Am I missing something? Oh, or was that last game with Hunter Green? Was that last game with Hunter Green? And you saying fade Hunter Green with Pittsburgh? Clarify that, please. But yeah, I'm always for fading the injury report. Tigers best pitcher in baseball. Yes. They've been good. Hello, my dude. What's good, Markel? We'll keep on going here. The Atlanta Braves and the Miami Marlins. The Braves are minus 185 favorites with a total of 8.5 in this game. This is going to be a fun race down to the end here, because them and the Mets are still 2 games apart. And it's going to be fun with the series coming up this weekend. And I think that obviously that's going to determine it. Line opened up 195, it's down to 186. Line opened up an 8.5 minus 115. It's 8.5 minus 125 in this game here. I think for the rest of the season, obviously, other than when they play each other, I think you can parlay the Mets and the Braves and either both of them are going to win or both of them are going to lose. Because I feel like that's one thing, paying attention to the race between these two teams. When one wins, the other wins. When the other loses, when one loses, the other loses, which is weird. But that's been the case for a while. I think you could parlay the Braves and the Mets money lines going forward, other than this upcoming week when they play each other. We have Grant Holmes versus Darren McCacken. Holmes is a bullpen pitcher, so we're not expecting much from him. And then McCacken has been bad. 6.75 ERA, 1.56 whip, 5.71 strikeouts per nine, which is 14%, 2.08 walks per nine, a 339 BABIP, a 5.36 FIP, and a 5.10 SIERA. Bullpen edge, Atlanta. Hitting edge, Miami, 117 WRC plus, which is 7th, compared to 95, which is 20th. I'm going to move on the Braves online. I think the Braves are going to be a bet-on team. I think the Mets are a bet-on team until the end of the year. And I will look to probably – I feel like if you go ahead and bet them every single game the rest of the season, you'll probably be up betting both of them. Obviously, not when they play each other, but I'm going to take the run line at minus 125. I think this is a race that these two teams are going to continue to push each other. I'm going to be on the Braves run line here at a minus 125 price tag. Let's see. Yeah, plus money is in the chat. Saying hi to Markel. Braves minus 2.5. I lost so much money betting on Patrick Mahomes that I'll literally never do it again. That was 3 years ago. Fair. Braves smash. They gotta keep winning. Yeah, they do. Sorry, bet against. You're all good. If Braves lose this game, they are done. Do you know Mets have the tiebreaker over? They do not have the tiebreaker yet. The winner of the series this upcoming week gets the tiebreaker. So far, it's 5-5. So whoever wins the series, there you go. Whoever wins the series next week or starting in 2 days has the tiebreaker. Matt Olson home run. You have no shows anymore. She's retired. No, yeah. Nick is a fraud Mets fan. I said you can't bet the Braves to win and be a Met fan, you fraud. It's business at the end of the day. And I cashed with the Braves yesterday. What? You expect me to be a homer fan here? You just want me to sit? You want me to sit here instead of breaking down the games? I'm just going to say I hate the Braves. I want them to lose, so I'm going to bet them to lose? Since when am I ever a homer like that? I will bet on or against any team. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care who the team is. Don't care who they're playing. I will bet on or against any team in any situation. You can fuck off with this. Marcelo Ozuna over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Don't hate it. Don't call Nick a fraud or I'll cut you. There you go. Yeah, you threatened him. We'll move on, though. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the Milwaukee Brewers. It's a pick 'em. With the Brewers are on a minus 115 favorite in this game, total of 8. The Diamondbacks currently lead the Mets by 1 game for wild card 2. It is Frankie Soft Toss Montas taking on Jordan Montgomery. Line open up 115. It's now minus 127 for Milwaukee. Big move towards Milwaukee here. Line opened up in a 9. It's down to an 8. Full run line movement down towards the under in this game. Now, I don't mess with an under when it's moved to full run line. A full run down. 79% of the tickets and 69% of the cash. Nice is on the over. 36% of the tickets, 79% of the cash on the Diamondbacks. And the line's moving against it, which is really interesting. That I'm surprised that the markets like Montgomery. This game's a big question mark for me. I don't really want too much to do with it. Montgomery 5.09 ERA, 1.47 WHIP, 5.09 strikeouts per nine, which is 13%, 3.06 walks per nine, 300 BABIP, a 4.7 FIP, and a 5.07 SIERA. On the flip side, Montas 4.25 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, 11.83 strikeouts per nine, which is 33%, 3.64 walks per nine, a 277 BABIP, a 3.51 FIP, and a 3.30 SIERA. both these pitchers are fighting to probably try to make the playoff rosters. Now, the Brewers have already locked up the division. They are kind of fighting for a bye, which I don't think is completely out of the realm of possibilities for the Milwaukee Brewers to get a bye, because they're 4 games behind the Phillies and the Dodgers for that bye. So maybe it's probably a little out of reach. Bullpen edge goes towards the Brewers. Hitting edge does go towards the Diamondbacks. 124 WRC plus, which is 4th, compared to 90, which is 17th. I have no interest in this game whatsoever. I don't see too much of an edge here. These are 2 teams that are still trying to win games. Obviously, the Diamondbacks need to win games to stay in the playoffs because they only have the Braves by 3 games. I think their magic number is like 4, something like that. So they need to keep winning to hold off the Mets and the Braves. And the Brewers maybe want to keep winning to try to push for the bye. I don't see them getting the bye because the Dodgers, I think, have out of their 7 remaining games, 4 of them are against the 4 of them against the Rockies. So not a game I'm getting involved with at all. It's a pass. There you go. Money Honey retired at the age of 30. Wow, good for you. There you go. She's 29. She's 29. Come on. Brewers money line. I'm a little bit older than that. Fair. Over 10. Nick gets mad when Nick 446 exposes his fraudness. No, I'm a sports bettor. I'm a sports handicapper. You can throw fandom aside when you're doing that. I don't get it, but sure. Diamondbacks team total over, not a bad look. I don't know why the Diamondbacks playing like I don't know why the D-backs like playing the Brewers. I don't know. Some teams have each other's numbers. Over 8. Marte home run. There you go. I know you've been hitting Diamondback home run props lately, so keep going. 100 grand. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Snakes have showed me something here, winning 3 games in Milwaukee. They've looked good. They're fighting. They're fighting now. Corbin Carroll home run. Pavin Smith home run. I want to see the Diamondbacks win baseball games because I want to see them play the Padres in the first round of the playoffs. I want the Padres to play the Diamondbacks and not the Mets. I would rather play the Brewers if I'm the Mets than the Padres. I want to see that. I want to see Padres Mets in the CS. I don't want to see that in a 3-game wildcard series. So we'll move on. The Houston Astros are minus 260 favorites. Nice hefty favorites in this one here. Total of 8 in this one. Let's see. It's okay. It's 280s across the board, so we don't have to worry about fading the Astros here. Line opened up at a 265. It's down to a 255. So we have a move towards the LA Angels in this game. Line opened up 8.5 minus 110. It's down 8 minus 105. The markets have liked the under, I feel like, in every game this series, and I don't think it's hit once. 87% of tickets, 74% of cash on the over. Line moving towards the under. 94% of tickets and 83% of cash is on the Astros, and lines moving towards the Angels. I'm not betting the Astros in this game. That's one thing I'm not betting. Just from the price, really. And then that just the way the lines move. Arrighetti and Canning, your pitching matchup here. 2 pitchers I really don't trust. I trust Arrighetti. I do not trust Canning. 3.99 ERA, 1.23 whip for Canning the last 30 days. 8.28 strikeouts per nine, which is 23%. 3.99 walks per nine, a 257 BABIP, a 4.43 FIP, and a 4.41 SIERA. Arrighetti, 2.42 ERA, 1.35 whip, 9.35 strikeouts per nine, which is 24%. 3.64 walks per nine, a 310 BABIP, a 3.75 FIP, and a 4.09 SIERA. Bullpen, Astros, hitting, Astros, 103 WRC plus, which is 12th, compared to 87, which is 23rd. It's under or nothing. I do not trust Griffin Canning to give me an under here. And I've seen the market like the under in every game this series. And it lose. So this is one where I'm not moving on the game. I lean under, and I will sit back and continue to root for my Astros futures. and hope that potentially game 1 against Seattle of this upcoming series, the Astros are popping champagne, and I'm cashing a plus 350 ticket. So I'll continue to root for the Astros to win baseball games. And one thing I do want to take a look at is where they are. Okay, never mind. They're 5 games. They're 4.5 games behind the Guardians for the number for a bye. So they're going to be playing. They're going to be playing in the wild card series, the Astros, which is fine. I don't hate it. And they'll be getting either the Tigers or the Twins or even the Royals potentially. Royals and Orioles could be a fun playoff series, but no play for me here. This one. There you go. Astros smash. No value betting this game. No, absolutely no bet. Maybe it's Angels team total under, but if anything, I'm not interested there. Kansas City Royals and the San Francisco Giants in this one here. Pick 'em. Total of 7 in this game. It is Blake Snell on the mound for these San Francisco Giants, taking on Seth Lugo. Line opened up with the Giants as minus 102 dogs. It's now minus 107 for them. Line opened up 7.5 minus 118. It's now 7 at plus 105. So move towards the under and potential 6.5 popping up soon. At 6.5, I like the over. That would be the only way I look in this game. 6.5, give me the over. But let's take a look here. 80% of tickets, 64% of cash on the over. The line's dropping. We have 42% of tickets and 53% of the cash is on the Royals. And the line moving towards the Giants in this game here. We have Snell and Lugo. Snell, a 2.05 ERA, 1.09 whip, 14.32 strikeouts per 9, which is 38%. 5.32 walks per 9, a 256 BABIP, a 1.76 FIP, and a 3.32 SIERA. On the flip side, Seth Lugo, 3.19 ERA, 1.26 whip, 8.71 strikeouts per 9, which is 24%, 1.45 walks per 9, a 360 BABIP, a 2.65 FIP, and a 3.46 SIERA. Bullpen edge, Royals, hitting edge, Giants, 93 WRC plus, which is 21st, compared to 75, which is 20th. This feels like a way too easy under. With Snell and with Lugo, but I guess at that number, at 7, I lean under. At 6.5, I want the over. And I know that's weird to say, but I don't believe in baseball games having hockey totals. It's kind of the way I look at it. And that would be the only way to look at this game for me would be that. But once again, not a game I think I'm getting involved with. But I can only look. I don't know. So we'll see. Do the Astros have the garbage cans ready for the playoffs? Are we really still talking about this? You're just a salty Yankees fan that lost to the team. Over 8.5. Are we still talking about the garbage can thing? Can't bet the present if you're living in the past. Exactly. Giants smash, Royals falling off a cliff. Maybe the Royals are the team to fall out of the playoffs and the Tigers passing them because the Tigers are only, 2 games? No, they're a game and a half behind the Royals, I believe. So we'll see. Speaking of frauds, the Royals are trash. Can't get swept by the Giants. What a joke. 6 straight loss. Okay. Robert loved that Diamondbacks team total. There you go. I love the Diamondbacks. There. Yeah, he's been big Diamondbacks. At the very least, this is a game I want to watch a couple at bats for. As a East Carolina Pirate, I would like to watch a couple at bats in this game because if he's in the starting lineup, we have an opportunity to watch ECU on ECU. With Gavin Williams on the mound for the Cleveland Guardians taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm hoping to see Gavin versus Alec Burleson at the plate. That would be so much fun to watch. But let's get into it here. Andre Palante and Gavin Williams. Williams, a 5.27 ERA, 1.35 whip, 9.55 strikeouts per 9, which is 25%. 4.94 walks per 9, a 271 BABIP, a 4.12 FIP, and a 4.53 SIERA. On the flip side, we have Andre Palante, 3.34 ERA, 1.45 whip, 7.89 strikeouts per 9, which is 20%. 4.55 walks per 9, a 302 BABIP, a 3.81 FIP, and a 4.39 SIERA. Bullpen edge going towards the Guardians, who have arguably one of the best bullpens in baseball. Hitting edge towards the Guardians, 101 WRC plus, which is 13th, compared to 95, which is 18th. I forgot to go over line history in this spot here, where this line opened up at a 105 for St. Louis. It's now a 121. The line opened up at an 8, it's down to a 7.5, telling me that Palante pitches well in this game. And I could see it. 91% of tickets, 85% of cash on the over, yet this line's dropping. 45% of tickets, 87% of cash on the Guardians, though, which is weird. They'll see the line move towards St. Louis like this. That's enough to keep me off the Guardians in this game, because I was leaning Cleveland if I was trying to bet a side in this spot. And maybe it's an under. Maybe I go back to the under in this game. I lost the under last night. That was my only loser. But maybe I was a day late. Maybe I was a day early to the under for this game. And asking my boy Gavin to pitch well. Get him into a playoff mode, potentially. Sandlin threw 25 yesterday. Morgan threw 20. Heron threw 15. But yeah, that's kind of a used up bullpen a little bit. Gaddis will be available. Clase could be available. Walters could be available. Smith could be available. Maybe Avila and Sobrowski could be available. Maybe Heron's available. Kind of a tax bullpen, though. I think ultimately it's probably just another stay off spot. I'm not going to fire away on Sundays. One thing I've noticed in baseball is Sundays are my worst days. So I'm not going to find reasons to bet games. And I know later on the card, I have 4 plays waiting for me with 2 -300 fades. So I don't feel the need to force plays here, especially on NFL Sunday. So it's a pass here. Whoa. Good luck, ESPN chat. What's good? Stop Geo. It's an honor to have. There you go. Sprinkling H-Chin, 50+ yards at +330. Worthy at 80+ yards. There you go. Oh, stop. There you go. Fun interactions in the chat there. Rashid Shaheed, anytime touchdown. There you go. Texans, Dair Ugumbawale. 650 is 1,300. Wow. Cardinals money line. Indians money line. Yes. Yes. Forgot to mention today is careful in the MLB today. I've only moved on 3 plays, and I know I have 4 more plays I'm going to move on, which Sundays, maybe that means one of these -300s lose. Because, all you got to do is parlay the Padres and the Dodgers, and you'll be good, right? Washington Nationals and the Chicago Cubs. Cubs are $2 favorites in this game, total of 8 in this one. Jake Irving and Shota Imagina. Line opened up 185, it's now 195. And line opened up at an 8 -105. It's still an 8 at -105. So we do have a 10-cent line movement here towards the Cubbies in this spot, which is cash cow material here. 91% tickets and 98% of cash on the Cubs. So the line movement and all that. The market's saying this is Cubs run line. 80% of tickets and 83% of the cash is on the over here as well. The line's not moved. We have Shota Imagina versus Jake Irving. Irving was somebody I had circled for negative regression, and he has definitely had some negative regression here. 5.4 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, 7.31 strikeouts per 9, which is 20%. 3.18 walks per 9, a 296 BABIP, but 3.63 FIP and a 4.25 SIERA. On the flip side, Shota Imagina, 2.73 ERA, 0.85 WHIP, 9 strikeouts per 9, which is 26%. 2.18 walks per 9, a 165 BABIP, a 4.65 FIP, and a 3.58 SIERA. Bullpen edge does go towards the Nationals here, but the hitting edge, nobody's hitting righties better in baseball than the Chicago Cubs the last 30 days. Number 1 in baseball, 135 WRC plus compared to 96, which is 12 here. This is run line for me, plus 110 Chicago Cubs. It's a cash cow spot, which is lines between 180 and 280 with the public on the home team. And the total at least 8 or higher. So there you go. Run line, Cubbies for me in this one. I feel like the Astros game says over. It's kind of tricky because that line's gone from an 8.5 down to an 8. So we'll see. Over 8. Yes, it's a cow spot. There you go. Morning, almost high noon. Yeah. Maybe tell Altuve. Okay. Cubs -1.5. Cow. Yes. You're annoying. I wonder when Arise wins his batting average title for the third year in a row, different teams in the leagues are going to tell him. League's going to tell him about him. Yeah, he's definitely a singles merchant. He doesn't strike out though, which is rare to see these days. So, and his batting average and everything probably means 4.46 is in love with Arise because batting average is the only thing that means anything in baseball apparently. 4.46. So we'll see. Texas Rangers and Seattle Mariners -125 for the Mariners, total 8 in this game. The Texas Rangers were officially eliminated from the playoffs yesterday. Who could have seen that coming other than everybody who actually knows ball and knows that team was a luck box last year? Line opened up in -110, it's now -128 for the Mariners. Line opened up in an 8, it's down to a 7.5. Move towards the under here as well. We have 89% of tickets, 83% of the cash is on the over. Line's moving towards the under. 63% of tickets, 91% of cash on the Mariners. And line moving towards these Mariners. We have Brian Woo taking on Andrew Heaney. Andrew Heaney's been pretty good this year. But Woo, 4.85 ERA, 1.01 whip, 8.49 strikeouts per nine, which is 24%. 0.61 walks per nine, a 247 BABIP, a 4.99 FIP, and a 4.57 Sierra. On the flip side, Heaney, 3 ERA, 1.05 whip, 9 strikeouts per nine, which is 24%. 1.71 walks per nine, a 276 BABIP, a 3.26 FIP, and a 3.64 Sierra. Bullpen edge, Mariners, hitting edge, Mariners, 119 WRC plus, which is 8th, compared to 99, which is 16th. I can only look Seattle in this game. Seattle continuing to try to compete for a wild card spot because I think they're 2 games out. They're starting to play much better. And the Rangers have nothing to play for anymore because they are officially eliminated. Which, yeah, I mean, it's Mariners or nothing here. But once again, not a game I am overly thrilled to get involved with. Do I really want to lay a -130, -135 with the Mariners on the road? No. Do I want to lay a run line with the Mariners? No. So it's no play here. Yeah. Phillies or Mets, we'll get into it. We'll get into that later. Rangers today, last Sunday of the season. Nope, there's one more tomorrow. One more next week. People needs entertainment for starts the week. Seattle Smash. Rangers odds and is Sunday telling you everything. Yeah. Mariners money line. Rangers don't have nothing to lose, and they're defending the home. Fair. Yes, Earle, I would take a rise over any 20, 230, 20, 80 bomb that are all over the MLB. He sets the tone. I mean, he's a good leadoff hitter. He's somebody who can get on and be able. Here's the thing, though. It depends on the spot in the lineup you're in as well. I want a rise hitter for my leadoff hitter. But I want that 230, 20, 80, or I prefer 25 or 30 instead of 20 there in my 5 or 6 spot. I don't need a lineup full of slap hitters that only get singles. That does me no good. I need people who can hit the ball out of the ballpark as well. Twins game 1, Tigers, Braves, Mariners. Good luck. Rise made San Diego? No. Their pitching has. Jackson Merrill has. Jurickson Profar has. Solano has. Tatis has. Yes, Arise is good for the position he is in the lineup. I don't need 9 of Luis Arise in my lineup, though. I need a power hitter or 2. Preferably 2 or 3. I need a guy who can get doubles. If they hit a lower batting average, so be it. I need extra base hits. I don't need a single once every 3 at-bats. They were winners before him. Tony Gwynn did no good. Tony Gwynn was a professional hitter. Yes. I don't need 9 Tony Gwynns in my lineup, though. You need a lineup construction. And sometimes different types of hitters are better in different spots in the lineup. Pretty plain simple. Same player, yeah. Snell and Darvish saves Padres. Yeah. A's are alive today. I could see that. How? Because I don't want 9 Luis Arias in my lineup? I need people who can hit home runs. That's this. Yeah. We'll move to that matchup there. New York Yankees and the Oakland Athletics. Minus 175 for the Yankees, total of 9 in this game. Luis Gil taking on Joey Estes in this game. Let's take a look at the cash flow or line history in this one. Line open up 165 to 170. So a 5-cent line movement towards the Yankees. Line opened up 8.5 at minus 110. Got up to a 9, back to an 8.5, but a 10-cent line movement towards the over in this game. 75% of the tickets, 71% of the cash is on the over in this one here. 93% of tickets and 65% of cash on the Yankees. Does make the Athletics a little appealing in this game. Joey Estes and Luis Gil. Would be nice if my spreadsheet could load. There we go. Luis Gil has been good for a 1.13 ERA, 4.13 WHIP, or a 1.06 WHIP, 9.56 strikeouts per nine, which is 26%. 3.94 walks per nine, and 2.11 BABIP, a 4.17 FIP, and a 4.13 SIERA. Joey Estes has kind of regressed towards the end of the season, though. 6.17 ERA, 1.37 WHIP, 6.94 strikeouts per nine, which is 17%. 0.77 walks per nine, a 3.25 BABIP, a 4.93 FIP, and a 4.76 SIERA. Bullpen edge going towards the Yankees. Hitting edge goes towards the Oakland Athletics, 112 WRC plus, which is 10th, compared to 95, which is 19th. Another no play for me. It's Oakland or nothing. That'd be the only way I'm looking. I will be backing the Oakland Athletics every single game of the next series. In the last series in Oakland, I will be backing them all 3 games against the Rangers. But am I backing them this game? No. I don't trust Estes at all. Yankees smash. Total over 9. Heel sucks. And asking 4-4-6 what we're doing there. We'll move on. These next 2 games are pretty simple for me, and I'm actually going to just go ahead and bet both of these now. And I think it's the same exact breakdown for both of them here, and I don't feel like I need to go into too much depth in this one here. No team should be minus 300 favorites in Major League Baseball. And that's the cap. And I don't feel like I need to dive deep into either of these spots. But no team should be minus 300 favorites. The Dodgers are minus 390 now over on Bovada. I'm getting plus 295 full game with the Colorado Rockies. I mean, because there's no way the Dodgers lose again, right? Does this Dodgers team really care right now? Because, like, they have... Basically, the division's locked up. And for this spot, I mean, they play... And this could be a look-at spot. Ooh, this actually is a massive series coming up in LA. Padres can take the division with a sweep in that series, really, and then holding serve in their final series against the Diamondbacks. Unfortunately, the Dodgers go to the Rockies. But I don't think it's super far-fetched that the Padres can jump the Dodgers. But I'm not going to go super in-depth in both these games. So I'm going to give the same cap because I'm on a little bit of a time crunch here. I'm on the Rockies first 5 in full game. Rockies first 5 plus 265. Rockies full game plus 295. Moving on to the next spot here. I'm on the once again, same cap. That's all I'm going to do. I'm on the White Sox first 5 plus 215. I'm on the full game plus 265. No team should be minus 300 in baseball. And I get it. Both these teams are in a race right now. But pretty plain and simple. This has been my most profitable angle over the last few years in baseball. And it's fading minus 300 favorites. And it being a Sunday where we know things get wonky on Sundays makes me love it even more. I'm not going to go super in depth into both these games because I'm on a little bit of a time crunch here, and I need to be heading out soon. But it's the Rockies' first 5 full game, and it's the White Sox first 5 full game here. Let's see. Give me the contact hitter who put the ball in play and is on base. You said something about a Rosarania to Seattle. His 20 home runs are trash, hitting 220. What? I mean, I don't want a full lineup. Like 1 to 9 does not need to be a contact hitter because eventually I'm going to need a home run. And a Rosarania can give you that, hitting 220. I don't mind a power hitter hitting 220. Batting average is not everything. I'm done with this argument. Whereas Timmy, he's working. Dodgers, Oz, no likes at all. Yeah. They don't need to win more games. Fair. Gotta go Braves, Rob. Hold your nose. Rockies plus 331. Oh, the previous game, no opinion. Nick, what do you think about Luis Angel Acuna? I love him. I think he's going to be a stud. And they got him for Max Scherzer. Love that trade. That was a Stearns masterclass move there. Actually, no, it wasn't Stearns, but you can't be minus 395 with that pitching, even with Yamamoto. Won't last. Yeah. Pissed. No Acuna home run props for the Mets game. Fair. About the Mets game, let's get into it. New York Mets, Philadelphia Phillies. Minus 140 for the Phillies. Total of 7 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this one between Zach Wheeler and Taylor McGill. Line opened up at a 149 down to a 142. Line opened up at a 7 minus 105. It's now a 7 at plus 105. Move towards the under and a move towards the Mets in this game here. We have 69% of tickets, nice, and 62% of cash on the Phillies. The line moving towards the Mets, making the Mets very appealing in this game. 88% of tickets and 78% of cash on the over in this one as well. McGill has been awesome since coming back from AAA. Zach Wheeler, 1.69 ERA, 0.81 whip, 9.84 strikeouts per 9, which is 29%, 1.69 walks per 9, a 238 BABIP, a 1.95 FIP, and a 308 SIERA. On the flip side, McGill, 1.69 ERA, 0.89 whip, 9.28 strikeouts per 9, which is 26%, 2.53 walks per 9, a 236 BABIP, a 209 FIP, and a 3.60 SIERA. Bullpen edge, Mets. Hitting edge does go towards the Phillies, 116 WRC plus, which is 8th, compared to 97, which is 17th. I like this play even more if the Mets see the Braves win earlier in the day. I'm going to take the Mets in this game. I think the Mets are bet on until the Mets are bet on the rest of the season, especially in a wild card race like this, and especially if the Braves win and they know they have to win as well. I get it. It's Zach Wheeler. Cool. But with that being said, the markets are pointing towards the Mets here in this spot, and I'm going to listen to them there. McGill has been awesome since returning. I think he's a little bit of an underrated pitcher. He's fighting for a playoff roster spot if the Mets were to make the playoffs. So, very important game for the Mets. The Phillies with a win can win the division, but I could see them doing that later in the week or in the upcoming week here. I like the Mets to win the series here against the Phillies. I got them plus 121. Soon we'll hear Acuna as the MVP. No? Twins game 2. I don't cap game 2s. Never bet against wheels. Makes me money every time. Good for you. Phillies money line, they have the better pitcher. Cool. McGill's been awesome though too. So Mets plus 130 at home. Mets have been hitting good. Yeah, they've been good. Someone on the Mets hitting a home run. Who? Give me the guy who struck out 5 times yesterday. Mark Vientos. Mark Vientos hit a home run in this game. That's who I would go with. But that is everything for today's show. Whew, an hour and 55 minutes running all by myself here. yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. Full recap is in my CapperTek. All right, I'm in my CapperTek. So I'm not gonna go over every single thing I bet here, but that's gonna do it for this one. Want to thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll catch you guys same time, same place tomorrow for another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. Good luck, guys.